Hello, I'm Lori Alvarez, and I welcome you to Real Estate with Soul, the podcast. This is where I will share my story, knowledge, wisdom, and the legacy in real estate, and my family, all boldly wrapped up in one with you. So let's get started. Oh, and we are started. It's Lori Alvarez, and I'm so excited to be tuned in right now with you all. Yay!
Yay!
Right now with you all, because guess what? Amy's here.
Hello.
Yeah. We got some cool messages on the podcast last week. Well, actually on the IG. So if you're not listening to us on IG or checking out our IG page, you should, right?
Right.
We get some cool messages, feedback. We love when you guys reach out to us and share your thoughts and your inspiration and your comments and suggestions. We love them. So please do send them forward.
Yeah.
Last week, we got an amazing one. I was so thankful and grateful for it. And so it inspired today's conversation. Even though we were already in this mode, it duly noted actually added inspiration for me. Amy Cruz, of course, my buyer's agent, is here, and my beautiful sister. She looks nothing like me. And yes, celebrating. She is my sister. I love it. Okay, so here's the deal. Sister, we're going to talk about buying a home near a school. First and foremost, this is right up your alley for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I live about 10 steps away from a school.
Yes, you do.
Exaggerating that a little bit, but yeah, it's right up the street. So
I think for you, because you have really long legs, it's probably 10 steps.
I could maybe run it. I could do that.
Yeah, for sure. So anyways, to get right into it and have the conversation about buying a home near a school, I'm just going to share like my personal experience for the last 20 years or so of being a mother, taking 4 kids to school. I'm going to get really real with where I was, who I was, and what my experience was doing that. Okay. Because I think it like totally makes, it's totally relevant to this conversation.
Yeah.
So as we all know, I'm a mommy of 4 boys, 4 of them, 2 of them work for us. 2 of them work for us currently. One of them is partnered on for the long term of it. The other one's still figuring it out because he's 18 and just graduated, but he's still figuring it out, and he's hanging out with us and learning all kinds of stuff with us.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this. My boys are current at the ages of, Nathan, how old are you again? 25?
24.
26? 24? See, I gotta guess. I don't remember.
You don't even remember your own age. How are you going to remember his?
Hey, my birthday's coming up with that said.
That's right.
Oh, my son gave me a foul. He's in charge of the sound effects. Anyways, Nathan is 24. Nicholas is 23. He's 18 months younger. Yes, he is.
Okay.
I just know that because they're always right next to each other. Nolan is 18 and Nevin, what? 19? Nolan turned 19? Okay, Nolan's 19. I don't believe that. Nolan's 19 and Nevin is 15, 2 weeks away from being 16. All right, there you go. This is the rundown of the boys. So obviously my boys all went to different schools. The 2 older ones went to the same school at one point, and at some points didn't. So literally, I would have like 3 school drop-offs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Whew. I would have 3 school drop-offs a day, and I would hustle. And the school thinks they help you out because they all have different start times. I don't know that it helps you out. I'm just saying, I think that they should all start about the same time. Like, give you like, how long is the drive from one school to the next school to the next school, right?
Like maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 15 to 20.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. Anyways, none of that helps. So I'm just saying, as the mother who didn't participate in carpooling because I was bound determined to get all my boys to school all by myself and never have anyone support in that area. Never, ever. I was so rebellious to that. So a big shout out to those moms who do like to carpool and help each other out. I truly did it all by myself to getting the boys back and forth to school. So with that said, The first two boys was really challenging for me because I lived, let's see, 7 blocks from the school, the elementary school for the two older boys.
Yeah.
And those 7 blocks, in between those 7 blocks was a big, what's considered major street for us here in San Dimas. And so that always scared the heck out of me because I never wanted the boys to walk across that busy street.
Right.
I was like, no, I don't want you to walk across that street. I'm so scared. And yet, when I was growing up, not you, Mama took you everywhere, but when I was growing up, it's the truth.
Oh my
Mom
gosh.
and Dad, what the heck, made me walk like 14 blocks to school. And yes, in the snow. No, I'm kidding. We're in California. There is no snow.
Both directions.
No shoes. Okay, so anyways, but I did run through all the sprinklers. I will tell you that. Yeah. I loved sprinklers. Yeah. So back on track, easily distracted. Okay, so here's the deal, right? So I never wanted the boys to walk that. I was always worried about that. So I made sure to take them to school. And let me tell you, being a mom of 2 boys that are 18 months apart and getting them to school on time, I sucked. I'm sorry for the language. I was really not good at that at all. Really not good. And it was very challenging for me. And then I would get there, and then the traffic would be backed up forever. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You know, and then people drive like maniacs.
Everybody's in a hurry.
Yeah. Including me.
Yeah.
They drive, and then I would always pull up. Okay, I'm going to, here's full honesty. I would pull up to the school and I would park in the red zone and I would be like, boys, go. And I would totally park in the wrong spot. And then I met Katrina. Oh.
Aw. I love Katrina.
Yeah, she's awesome. She texted me yesterday too. She said, let's go to lunch. I miss you. Anyways, back on track. So I'm excited. I'm going to go to lunch with her. Katrina was my lifesaver. Why?
Because she lives right up the street from the school.
She literally lived 2 houses away from the school.
Yep.
Because at this point, I had another baby that was always in the car seat. And I had to drag the 2 big boys, literally, that's how my heart felt about it. I had to drag the 2 boys to school, and then I had the baby. So then when Katrina and I became best girlfriends, I could pull in her driveway. I could have the baby in her driveway with her there, and I could walk the kids, my kids to school, or she would walk our kids to school, and I would stay. And then I'd sit on her front porch and swing with her, and we'd talk baby talk, and we'd talk life. And it was fantastic because at that time I was renovating my house too.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really a very interesting experience. And I was always jealous of Katrina because I was like, she just gets up and walks her kids literally like 5 steps and her kids to school. I would have to drive 7 blocks, try to find a parking spot, then get the kids out. And I was always in my PJs. Full disclaimer, I was always in my PJs back then. Get the boys out of the car, get them out of their car seats, walk them across the crazy crosswalks, praying we wouldn't get ran over by some crazy mom or dad who was late to school, or grandma or grandpa or uncle or whatever you are, late to school, right? That was always like, I was always like, man, I would love to be right next door to the school the entire time I was taking the kids to school. So those are all the pros, right? The pros for living by a school. Right, check it out. You're right across the street from the school. So easy.
Yeah.
Right? You not only that, you have increased police or sheriffs for our area, increased sheriffs checking the area, right? Mm-hmm. They're always keeping an eye on it, making sure it's safe, making sure people are doing the things they need to do. right? Let's see, what else is a positive for living near the school? Oh, it's easy. You can just let your kids walk and you totally feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Katrina, as the kids got older, she used to stand in the front yard and watch them walk. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What the heck? How'd she do that?
I know. Now, when you guys bought your home,
Yes.
were you at all thinking about that?
Not at all.
And you weren't a real estate agent yet, so
no, my first home we were not. Yes.
Yeah, your first home you guys weren't. So, do you think a realtor, like, is that super important, right, for us to have that conversation with buyers when
I think it is. I think it is, especially because of where I was in my life.
Yeah.
So I did think about this when I bought. I thought about I want a great school district.
Yeah.
So that's why we chose Bonita Unified School District.
Yes.
We bought San Dimas.
Yeah.
I thought about the big major street, right?
Okay.
I did think about that. I was like, I don't know that the boys are ever gonna cross that street because it's a pretty busy street and I don't feel comfortable about it. And there was no stoplight at our corner where that busy street was.
Yeah.
The stoplight was 1 block down with a crosswalk, so on and so forth. So I did think about that, but I pulled up to my house and fell in love with it. So it was like none of that would have mattered. I tossed that all out the door because I just fell in love with the house when I pulled up to it. It was a 1903 little adorable craftsman cottage with a little front porch.
It was so cute.
It was so romantic, right? It was $169,000. Can't even buy that house now.
Gosh, could you imagine?
Right. So yes, as my buyer's agent and seeing that I have a brand new little 4.5-year-old boy, Nathan Alvarez, who was going to start his first year at our local elementary school.
Yeah.
I probably would have appreciated that little, but I don't think realtors can think of everything.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but I would encourage you. Yes, as my realtor, I would encourage you. Yes.
Yeah.
Like if you see a mom buying a house who's dragging around a little 4-year-old with them, right?
Yeah.
Because the schools even changed during that time. So, I appreciate it. That's a great question, sister. What else do you got?
Well, I want to make sure as a buyer's agent, I have that in that's one of my questions for my consultation.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about schools. Are they important to you or not?
Yeah.
I would recommend they are.
Yeah.
And, have just touch on that a little bit while we're talking and discovering what type of home it is that they need.
Yeah. The other thing I would add to that too is one of the pros about buying near a school is those roads are usually maintained really well.
Yeah.
The area will be maintained. Someone pointed out when I was doing some of my research, I loved this because I never think about it. If you live in a snowy area, it's the first streets to get
to get paved,
plowed. Right. Yeah. We're not snowy here. So,
yeah.
But it is one of the first streets to get maintained. It's one of the first streets to be taken care of. People are very aware of speed on school streets. And I mean that in a positive and a negative, right? People drive way too fast on a school street and they drive slow because they need to, right? During school hours. So, the streets are busy.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very busy.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, I would never, ever, it was my pet peeve when I took the boys to school. I would never just drop there was the parents that did it too. I'd never understood them, but they would pull up to the curb, drop their kid, and their kid would just run and dart in between traffic.
Oh, that's so scary.
Yeah.
That would stress me out.
Oh, I hated seeing that. And I don't use that word often, hate, but I really did not like that.
Yeah.
Because that just really did. So, those were things that you saw. I always was the one who parked, got my kids out, pulled them. Or I pulled up in the red zone right to the curb so that they didn't have to cross the street. Prayed that no police officer pulled up in that moment. And I said, hurry, boys, go so you're not late.
Yeah.
Of course, when they're late, you've got to go check them into the office. So you have to park.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Right.
Now, another benefit is you have parks nearby.
Yeah.
So the benefit of the parks nearby is you have lots of space out there for kids to play and wander and family excursions. And, you could do holidays, you could do amazing stuff out at those parks, which is so cool, especially if you're one of the houses that backs right up to a park, right?
Yes, that's so cool.
You back right up to it. But now remember, if you have animals in that backyard, they're gonna not maybe like the people in that park.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have a couple of dogs. How do you think your dogs would do if there was a park behind them?
They would be terrible. My dogs are not friendly. They look so cute and small and innocent, but they love to bark. Yeah. So I wouldn't be able to be that close.
We had our blue dog who just recently passed away here in the last 6 months. Yeah. And we have lived in this house now for how long, Nathan? 15 years or so? Yeah, I think like 15 years. Like anyways, for 15 years, every day on trash day, Blue Dog would bark at the neighbor next door when he'd get his trash cans and take them out. It didn't matter that it was the same guy taking out the same trash cans. He barked at him for 15 years. So I'm just saying, if I was backed up next to a school, and my backyard was on it, and my blue dog was here, he would probably bark at those kids all day long.
Yeah, I know my pups would. For sure.
For sure. So, I mean, those are just things to think of as, you decide, should I buy next to a school? Now, when you buy a home in a great school district, your property values are gonna probably be fantastic.
Definitely.
Because people want that school district, they want that area, and they want the demand. And now we're gonna shift to the negatives.
So being as close to the school.
She couldn't wait to jump in on that.
This is my only thing. I only have one negative on it. And this is it. It's just the school traffic when I'm trying to leave my house. That is my only negative. And for me personally, I don't really have to deal with it too often. But my husband David does every morning during school.
Watch out, he's coming through.
He's got to leave a little earlier just because it's pretty backed up. And if he's going left towards the school.
Why would he choose to go left? He should just always go right.
Well, I mean, he most of the time he does, but there's still even a ton of kids walking, and you know, he can't rush through there at all.
No. He can't pick up any time, shave off any minutes by the school.
And for us, where we've got this, like you said earlier, the school, usually there's a park right next to it too, which is what our school has, and the park in the school, the back of the school, it all faces us, like the drop-off zone. Yes. We're right by that.
Yes.
So that's my only negative.
Yeah.
Other than that, I absolutely love being so close to the school.
Yeah, you're going to love it when Connor starts kindergarten
next year, and I just get to
walk him over there.
Watch him the rest of the way if I want.
Yeah, you're likely not going to move anytime soon once you start that.
Definitely not.
You're going to be like, no, never mind. I don't want to move. I don't care if I want a 4th bedroom.
Yeah, no. Maybe we'll add on to the house. We've got room in our yard, I think, if we ever want to do that.
Okay, so let's jump into those negatives. I will agree with you, sister. Like, traffic is a challenge, right?
Yeah.
As I mentioned in my personal story and my personal experience of taking the boys to school.
Right.
Here's another good story. So Nolan had just gotten his license and he was learning to drive.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So I took him his very first time behind the wheel. I let him drive us to school, to the high school. The people were so mean to him. They hooked at him. They were like, get out of the way. And it was not funny, Nathan. They were so mean to him. And poor Nolan was so stressed.
Oh my goodness.
He was like, Mom, I can't believe you let me do that. I said, look at you. You overcame. You did it.
Yeah.
But school traffic is horrendous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The people are mean.
Some people are, for sure.
And they're always in a hurry. I'm like, there are student drivers at this high school. You guys need to slow down. These kids only have like a year experience of driving or less, maybe 2 or 3.
Right.
But slow down. These students are trying to figure out how to pull in, turn their phones off, park, turn their radios off, get their backpacks.
Yeah.
Give them a break. Some of them are still on their learner's permit.
Oh, poor Nolan.
I know. It was good for him. Built character. Right? But there's increased noise.
Yes.
I know one time we sold a house right near a school. I mean, we sold a few of them.
We have, yeah.
But this was the first seller that said, like, we had to time it just right because we didn't want to sell the house during the school year because then people would come and look at it and see all the traffic.
Right.
Because you'd be surprised what traffic routes people use for the schools.
Right.
Right? They were like, back street, find the cul-de-sac that opens up, right?
Yeah.
Or the front street, or all the way back behind and find that park where the gate is open so your kid can just run across the field because he's late and he's, I'm going, Mom, I'm hurrying.
Yeah.
And then we'd always, at the high school, we'd always like say, okay, where's your classroom? At the front of the campus or the back of the campus or the middle of the campus? And then we would try to like park right in that area, and you do those illegal U-turns, and especially when your kids are. I like that. What Irma asked. Irma asked a great question. I'm going to answer that right now, Irma. I love Irma's our podcast producer. Give her a big high five. We love Irma.
Love you, Irma.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, we would figure out any and every way to get our kid to school on time.
Yeah.
Any and every way. So the question asked was, does the property value differ if you live near an elementary, high school, or college? Great question.
That is a good question.
Yeah. So property values do differ only because college towns tend to be a lower income area. Mm-hmm. So potentially the income in that area is lesser because it's mainly made up of students who are not yet making a ton of money.
Right. Probably a lot of rentals.
A lot of rentals.
Yeah.
So it can potentially bring values down, right?
Yeah.
When you live on a school too, there's going to be the person going right back to those cons. There's going to be the person that's like, I'm done. I don't want to be near a school. I don't want to hear the bells ring. I don't want to hear the students making noise. I don't want to see. So your house may be a little less in value than the house that's sold 2 blocks from you that's not right on the school.
Right.
But it's a model match to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the heck? Why did they sell for more?
Yeah.
Because they don't have all those added distractions or challenges.
Right.
I mean, here's the truth. I had one of my other listings that I had right across the condos across the street from the middle school.
Uh-huh.
Those junior hires, not all of them, but those junior hires love to knock down all the realtor signs.
Yeah. And they would all cut through the condominium, like walking home to avoid the whole corner.
Yeah.
So you'd constantly have high schoolers walking through the community.
Yeah. We love you guys, and you don't stay on the path. You stray for the most direct route home.
Yeah.
I get it. I want to get the most direct ride home.
Hey, I did that when I was in high school too.
Like I said, I ran through every water sprinkler that was on when it was hot.
Yeah.
Always did. So great question, Irma. Thank you for asking that. So yes, it does impact your value. And so you also have increased noise, increased air quality is not as great because you have so much traffic near a school. So if you are sensitive to air quality, right, you might not want to be too close to a school. Now, the perk is most schools are only in session about 180 days, right? So if they're only in session about 180 days, a lot of the time it's quiet.
Yeah.
And you get to
Very
visit
quiet.
and you get to use the space.
Yeah.
As long as they don't have it all closed up and locked off.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Let's see, bus drop-offs. You get a lot of those too. So you get big vehicles, slow the area down.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make sure you stop when the bus puts their little stop sign out. Let's see, what else is there? Let's see.
I kind of feel like that's it. I don't think there's too many negatives, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there is. You know, the people don't follow the traffic laws. I didn't. I mean,
yeah, you're such a rebel driver.
It's the truth.
I'm terrified when I'm in the car with you.
I will tell you this, Nathan. I'm gonna end with this story. I was taking Nathan, my son, to his football practice. He's embarrassed that I'm gonna end with this story. I was taking him to his football practice, and I'm not the greatest at making sure I stay in front of paying my tickets.
Oh gosh.
So I happen to have a warrant. I currently have no warrants, just so you all know, and I have no outstanding
you're caught
tickets.
Up and paid for.
I'm good to go. It's been quite a while. And back in the day, I had a warrant, and I had a police officer sheriff who pulled up right behind us as we were running Nathan to football practice. And as we were running Nathan to football practice, I did not have my shoes on. I was in my PJs, and Nathan was driving on his permit. So he was driving, and the sheriff ran my plates.
You're in trouble.
And so the sheriff pulled around the corner right in front of the school. She pulled us over. Nathan was like, "Mom, what did I do?" And I'm like, "Son, you didn't do anything. I know this is all about Mom." And he was like, "Oh my gosh." And he's young, still learning to drive. My poor sons, I make their driving years so traumatic. See, that's how he feels about it. And so I end here with, she pulled me over, and I said to her, I said, "Mrs. Sheriff," I said, "this is my 16-year-old son who plays for the Saints. He's got to go across the street right now or he's going to be late to football practice, and then he's going to have to do extra laps and all that stuff.
Laps and burpees and all that fun
Yeah,
stuff.
none of that fun stuff that he wants to do." And so she said, "Okay, well, Nathan, you go ahead and go. I will watch the street to make sure you're safe. Your mom and I need to have a talk." So Nathan jumped out of the car and ran across the street and went to football practice. And she was very gracious to me. I was very thankful and grateful for her.
Yeah.
Our sheriffs here in San Dimas rock.
They're awesome.
They are awesome. Yeah. You know, and pay your tickets, guys. Pay your tickets. Because the worst thing is you getting pulled over in front of the school, in front of all your son's buddies, and they're like, "Oh, what happened?"
In your jammies and no shoes.
Yes, in your jammies and no shoes.
That's funny.
So we'll close this up with, hey, there's lots of pros to buying a house near a school. Yeah. You can get there quickly. You can have easy access. You have extra amenities because you got baseball fields and parks and fun and so on and so forth. Yeah. Right? And you have lots of activity in the neighborhood. And if you love children and people watching, whew, that's fun at a school.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? I think those were all our perks. Easy access, easy everything. And potentially increased property value if it's a great school district, but if you're too close to the school, potentially you'll sell for a couple bucks less than everyone that's 3 or 4 blocks away from the school.
Yeah.
And the negatives again, our negatives are
traffic.
And noise pollution, air pollution, wild people walking in their yard, using your yard, stealing your lemons and oranges.
Yeah.
Right? Cutting across your property.
Yeah.
Potentially doing damage to it. Some of that can happen.
Right.
But overall, if I were a young mom and I was having some kids, I'd buy 2 houses from a school.
I'm so happy where I am. I'm so grateful.
and then I'd move 7 years later.
Yeah, that's probably the plan for us.
It's just what I'm saying. I'm just saying. So do your research. Do your research. It doesn't make great sense to live by and buy near a school. It's going to be, again, your personal situation. It's just your personal situation. I'm Lori Alvarez.
Amy Cruz.
Woo! We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. This was episode 52, and next week we're going to talk about selling near a school.
Yay.
All right, excellent. See you later.